Hey everybody, it's me. Okay, I'm making this tutorial the same day as I'm making the crouch canceling video because Black Ops 6 is coming out, okay? And I want to go play that. I don't want to play Tekken. I might be streaming it over on Twitch, so if you care and you want to hang out, go visit me. I might be live, I'm not too sure. But I'm going to talk about a technique that I still don't see people really use. Only some characters will use it around blue ranks, okay? So let's talk about it. So what is the topic today? The topic today is instant while standing moves, right? So some of the characters that could really benefit from this is Azucena. I mean, honestly, all characters could benefit from this, but some characters just have way better tools when they're while standing, right? In this state of while standing. So sort of similar to my last video. It's not really crouch canceling though. It takes a bit longer to do this thing, okay? So like in the last video, it takes 1 frame to go crouching to standing, right? This while standing input is a bit different, okay? So let's talk about some characters that could use it, right? Azucena needs it because while standing 1, like that. Raven while standing 2, King while standing 2, and I mean, I guess you want to do while standing 3 with Brian, you could do that too. And some people have like really bad down forward 1, so you could check with this, right? While standing 4. And then Lars definitely while standing 2, right? Like that's just like examples, right? So let's talk about this. What exactly is while standing, right? So instant while standing, or I guess we should talk about just the normal while standing, right? So while standing is you're crouching and you're standing up. The state of standing up, you are going to do moves, right? So, but if you crouch cancel, you're not going to get that, right? You see how I do this? I get standing while standing 4. But if I crouch cancel, I get standing 4, right? So, that's pretty much it. It's just the state from going from crouching to standing, right? And it's really weird, but in this state, when you are transitioning from standing to, crouching to standing and doing moves out of it, right? So you're not just crouch canceling out of it. This, like, it's like you're sort of in like a window where you are in this state of standing up, if that makes sense. It's not crouch canceling. It's like I'm going to stand up. So imagine you sitting on a chair in that period in which you're standing up, right? But when you crouch cancel, you're sitting down and you stand up immediately. That's what it is, right? So there is a bit of a window in which you are going from here to here. And from my research and just gameplay, it takes about 7 to 8 frames in which you could do while standing moves, right? Like the fastest way possible, okay? So what does that mean? That means if you want to do a while standing move, add about 7 frames to it. 7 to 8 frames, right? That's how fast you do it, right? So this is a 13 frame move. Add 7 or 8 frames, which means it's about 20 to 21 frames, right? Fastest way possible. So, you know, you might be like, why would I want to do that? So, like I said, some people have really key moves, right? This is her keep out. You want to do that, okay? So, we're going to talk about the way how to do this technique, right? So, there are 2 techniques, okay? There are 2 techniques, which are 2 ways to do it, I should say. 2 techniques, 2 ways to execute it. You could do quarter circle back, quarter circle forward, right? And depending on your character, like if you play Paul or Brian, you might have a sway back and a sway forward. And now the other way to do it is down back, down, or down forward, all right? You just press one of these 3 and you let go. That's it. But as you're doing the quarter circle forward and quarter circle back, you have to sort of memorize this timing with it, okay? But yeah, if you also have characters who do have quarter circle inputs, you have to be mindful that you're not going to be able to do that while standing move, right? So like imagine if I'm Paul, if I do quarter circle forward 2, I'm going to get death fist. I'm not going to get while standing 2, right? If I do quarter circle forward, the quarter circle forward input, right? So that's why I recommend people to play with this down, down forward, and down back, right? This is just the way how I've done it, and I've just found it to be way more successful, right? Another reason why I recommend playing with down back, down, and down forward is because just talk about rollback, okay? So rollback, if you're doing this, you're adding a lot of inputs into the game, okay? And the game is going to be like, oh, I'm going to try to fill in that void to make sure that the network works well, right? So you might have some missed inputs, and I think that's cringe, right? But then if you do this, it's just one input. Literally just one input, right? Just one input, right? Anyways, the other reason too is you are always in a state of crouching, right? And you're always blocking, right? Down back blocks, down forward low parries, right? You're always in this crouching state, which means you're dodging high. But if you're doing this, you're crouching and standing, right? So you might get hit, and it's more like fuzzy ducking, right? There's a time and place to do fuzzy ducking, but you know, this is just much more consistent in my opinion, right? Crouching all the way. Anyways, so we're going to talk about how to execute this now, okay? So this is what it should feel like when you do this. So if you're doing quarter circle back or quarter circle forward, it's really weird, okay? This is why I also think it's weird. So you want to hold down longer than you hit down forward and quarter circle forward. It's like you want to hold this, and then as soon as your thumb or whenever your input hits down forward, that's when you want to hit the move, right? So if I want to do like while standing 1, right? So I'm leaving it down, and then once I feel that my thumb hits here, I want to hit 1. Right? It feels really weird. And as you can see, I'm getting like while standing 1 inputs too, right? So there's like ups and downs when you like miss execute this too, right? So there's that, right? You could do quarter circle back, same thing, right? You might get back 1. So there's another, so this is why I just prefer like, you know, down back and down forward and so forth. But the other thing too is that if you're doing the way that I'm doing, which is this, it's easier. You press it one time, you let go, you just press the button. You see how like when you do quarter circle forward, they're like, you want the forward arrow and the button on the same frame almost, right? Like that. See that? You can have it off too, but it has to be like really close, right? But then if you're doing it this way, you see that you're just going here, it's nothing, then you press 1. That's the way to do it, in my opinion. It's just easier to read too, right? Like there are times where you're gonna get it right next to each other, but you see how much easier this is? I just think it's easier. So you just tap, let go, and then you press. See that? So this timing is just easier in my opinion. And the other thing is that if you're doing this, I prefer down back. Down back is the best. Because if you hit down and then do it, you might sidestep down. Or you might crouch down. You see that? Like you might go like this. So I personally just prefer down back, and then you let go. Right? So now, how would we practice this in the fastest way possible? So you see how Kazuya is going to do 1 jab and then 1-1? This is what you want to practice with. So this means you're doing the right window. And you have to use Azucena. You can use Azucena. Raven works okay too, or Lars. But what you really want to do is really try to get a counter hit within that 20 frame window, right? So because he's going to be +1, you don't want to get punished. You want to try to get counter hit. That means you're doing it correct, right? Right? This is what you want. You don't want to get punished. You see that? I'm late. You want to do it fast. Right? That's exactly what you want. So with Raven, I say like Raven's while standing 2 is a bit his hitbox is weird. But yeah. This is something that you could look out for. Right? Oh, I'm not even getting it. I'm not getting it. There you go. So yeah, execute it fast, and practice makes perfect, alright? So depending on your character, you might be able to do that. The other thing that I wanted to mention too is that, let's go to Lars when we show this. So this isn't just for Lars, but this works for any character. Like this is one of the downsides of doing this technique, okay? So one of the things that's really fucking annoying, I think, is that if people are gonna do this and grab, like if you are in the state of doing this while standing input, right, it's gonna be a counter hit throw. It's gonna be a counter hit throw all the time. Alright, so I'm trying to do while standing 1. Alright, it's very, like, you're trying to execute this as fast as possible. Alright, I'm trying to execute this as fast as possible. It's like I was doing with Azucena. You're gonna find issues arise, right? Especially if they're gonna do not a general throw, but they're gonna do a command throw, right? Because then it becomes a counter hit throw, and you'll see this, right? Right, it's really hard. No. See that? Like, that's one of the things that's gonna happen a lot as you do this technique. So just be mindful that when you are doing instant while standing inputs, you are gonna, if someone tries to grab you, it might get you out of that. So just be mindful. But then again, you are dodging highs and going into crazy moves, right? So just really quick, if you're a Lars player, you want to master this technique because this allows you to go into mix-ups immediately. Alright, this is a move that you want to throw out from time to time because it's really strong, right? You have continuations, you can check, you can make distance, you can go forward, you can go back, or you can just do this. It's just do a mini check. And this is pretty much like homing, by the way. Let me tell you that. It's pretty much homing. And it tracks really well to both sides. So that's why you would want to do it. Last thing too is that you could use it in combos, instant while standing. Okay. But depending on your character, you'll get different results, right? I mean, personally, as a Lars player, like, I just don't recommend doing that because, like, the combo is just so weird. It's, like, not worth it. But, yeah. There's, like, better ways to do more damage. But just something that you could consider is, like, trying to do any combos as well. But, yeah. Hope you guys learned something new while standing. You know, practice it. So once you master that, just throw it out. Try to do it out of neutral. Do it out of neutral. If you watch some of my replays, you can see that I just do it sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I get while standing too. But yeah, just try it out, man. It's really strong. Depending on your character, you might get really good results. Some really bad, but try it out. You know. Anyways, while standing input recap. You could do down, 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 forward, quarter circle back, quarter circle forward. But if you have a character who has these inputs, quarter circle back, quarter circle forward inputs, be mindful that you are going to be doing their moves and not the while standing inputs, instant while standing inputs. And practice with Azucena, doing one, you know, while standing one and trying to get counter hit on Kazuya. That's the fastest way you can do it. Or at least that means you're doing it right. You know what I mean? What else? Oh yeah, and try it out in your levels. That's all. I dropped it. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be playing Black Ops 6. So you know, if you want to check me out on Twitch, it's gonna be fun, my man. I can't wait. Anyways, I might be fanboying too much. I've been waiting so long for a good zombies game. Anyways, hopefully you learned something new. Instant while standing input. Use it, and hopefully you get your rank up. All right, that's all. Skirt.